Good afternoon, all. We'll call the March 17, 2025 meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety to order at 5:30 PM. Roll call, please, Amanda.
Mr. Coleman?
Here.
Mr. Hoover?
Here.
Mr. Rutherford?
Here.
Thank you.
Minutes of our last meeting of March 3, 2025 were distributed to members of the board. Any corrections, additions, or deletions from staff? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval as presented?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Petty, I'll get to you first. Evening, Todd.
Well, first of all, I'd like to request approval to amend the vehicle auction list and remove a 2018 Ford F-250 VIN number reading B31777 from the list and replace it with the 2014 F-250 VIN number ending A22650.
Brandon, do you have all that information you need?
Yes.
I'll move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Lastly, I request approval of the sale of the 2018 Ford F-250 VIN B3177 out of the sanitation utility to the airport for a sum of $19,000.
Questions for Todd on this?
Move for approval. Second.
Greg, I suppose I should ask you, think I know the answer, but is everything okay with all that? Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the evening. Lisa?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I come before you this evening with two job descriptions for the CVS department. These are current positions that we have available on our salary ordinance, and they're not new at all to the salary ordinance. So the first is the GIS technician. Mark Watson has been in that position, and he made a couple of updates to the GIS job description, just very minimal updates there since he had been doing that position. And then for the City Works Administrator, we went ahead and filled the position with Mark Watson. So right now we're looking for a GIS technician, but Mark Watson is now the City Works Administrator. And that job description entails adding supervisory duties over the GIS technician position. So we want to make sure that that language is in there so he can provide work assignments and corrective instruction when needed, responsible for hiring and performance review, etc. So,
Questions from Ms. Best?
I'll move for approval.
Both of those?
Yes. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Mr. Hayden, you need some help out there, expecting some assistance?
I thought someone from Restore was going to be here, but I guess not. Basically, they're putting forth their final Fridays for the entire season in one go this year. Last year, they were still trying to feel things out, but they have dates for March through November set aside now. They have settled on 3 locations for the music and a set time through the entire season. And they're also going to be skipping any rain checks this time.
Skipping in what?
Rain checks,
No,
like we're just writing down, we're not going to try to cram in another one. So the dates for those are March 28th, which is why they're reading that tonight, April 25th, May 30th, June 27th, July 25th, August 29th, September 26th, October 31st, and November 28th, all 5 to 9.
And they're all the final Fridays of the month?
Correct.
Okay, and there's no conflicts with?
Maybe other than Halloween.
I was going to ask about Halloween.
I guess they're hoping that Halloween would bring in additional traffic, so.
It's Thanksgiving,
That
the
would
day
be,
after?
it
right. Questions for Ty? You comfortable doing a blanket approval of all that?
I
Okay,
make the motion that we approve the request. Second.
further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thanks, Ty. Next, Evan Aronson, 1541 Creekside Lane. Yes.
Yes, hi. Thank you for seeing me today. So we had met last week. I was trying to explain my story, but basically, I'm asking for a courtesy waiver on fees because there was some leaks that were verified in the house, and I was not notified of the leaks. It was a vacant home from September 1st until September 17th, and then it was vacant again because of an identity theft situation. It was vacant again from December 2nd until March 1st. And during that time, I was dealing with the water company, and I discovered that, yes, there were some leaks. Unfortunately, I was not notified of the leaks because it was a vacant home. So I'm asking, that company, the water company, did give me some credits for that. And so I'm asking for you guys to do the same as well. It's a lot of money. It was over $2,000 to you guys, and I did pay you quite a bit. So I'm just asking, maybe for like $1,000 credit. I believe I owe roughly $1,000 right now.
Do we have the authority to do that? Yeah. We do.
Greg, you have anything you want to add? Explain to us.
I actually brought our utility office manager today.
I bet she's thrilled to be here.
So I've got Sarah Adams, my utility office manager. She's more familiar with the situation. Kind of give you guys some background. I think she sent you an email.
She did. Thank you for that.
So, hi, how are you?
Good.
It looks like we did receive information about a leak adjustment. However, it does state that it was a toilet that was running, which means the water still went down the drain and had to be treated. So at this time, that was not something that our office was able to do any kind of adjustment for.
We paid for the treatment of the sewage. Right. Even though it might have been clear water. Right.
It still was something we had to treat and enter the system.
Your recommendation to us on the request? You want to give us one?
As far as the adjustment, that would be something that you would make a conclusion on. The current total is right now $629.67, so it's not quite as high as was stated.
And I saw in some of the documentation, there was a time frame for a leak, and then there wasn't a leak, and then there was a leak. How did that, was a leak?
I'm not sure that would be something for the owner to and I know during the summer months, it was receiving the summer usage discount, where we were only billing them at the winter average. So the bills were not a high level, and it didn't start until it's like the January bill was, the bill that came out on January 15th was the first bill that was higher usage.
Okay. So this wasn't necessarily a leak in a pipe or anything like that.
Right,
Right,
right, not in the yard or
The
under
running toilet that wasn't fixed.
What if we have it or something? Benefit of the doubt. We'll throw about that either.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, there was, Mr. Aronson was there.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing, but yes. I'm here.
Does anybody else have trouble hearing?
Yeah.
I can't understand it. I can't hear you or understand what you're saying.
Oh, did you guys hear what I said before about my property?
Say that again.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little louder. I had sent some materials to you guys. I emailed them to you. But basically, the issue is that I had a vacant home and there was a leak in the home, and I was not notified of the leak by the water company because it was vacant. Did you hear that part?
Okay, what we're hearing is that it wasn't a leak, it was a running toilet.
Well, you don't know what it was, to be honest with you, but the point is that there was nobody in the home. It was a vacant home since August 1st until September 17th, and then again from December 2nd all the way until March 1st, it was a vacant home. So if I'm not notified of the leak, then I can't do. As soon as I was notified, then I immediately went to resolve it. And so what I'm asking for is I've already spent a lot of money to you guys. I did give you guys some money, but I'm asking for a courtesy waiver on the remainder of the monies owed because, the problem is that I'm a landlord. And so, Greenwood Sanitation is really the only utility company I'm aware of where it goes back to the landlord. I mean, if this was a tenant living in there, it would be their responsibility, not mine.
Well, who did you expect to tell you that the toilet was running? The city?
The water company.
You were getting the bills and you saw
No,
that.
but the bill came a month later. I put that in the email. The bill came a month later. So as soon as I got the bill, I immediately resolved it. So, I mean, there's nothing I could do about it. I'm not at the house. You know what I mean? So I'm asking for a courtesy waiver because I've already spent, and by the way, the water company already gave me a credit. They gave me a credit already. And then for the remaining, it already went to the Public Utilities Commission. I'm bringing it up with them. I had a tenant in there, and the tenant was for a month, and it was an identity theft situation. I had no idea they turned the water on. There was just a bunch of stuff that occurred. And so there's really a few different issues going on. Number one, it was a vacant house. Number two, when she was in there for a month and a half, it was a fake person.
Mr. Aronson, no offense, but the relationship you have with your tenant and whether or not they told you what was going on is really not something that we have a dog in that fight. I mean, I guess my position is that if you have a problem with your tenant not telling you, and I know there's difficulties in being a long distance owner,
No.
but I don't see that as being the city's problem.
I understand, but that was only a month of it. Most of it was a vacant home. Most of the problem was a vacant home. I know you mentioned last time it was a civil matter. Okay, then forget about that part. It's still, the rest of it is not a civil matter. It's a leak that was in the home that I was not made aware of. I mean, let's be a little reasonable, sir. I mean, just because it's not fair to me. I mean, nobody told me. The water company didn't tell me. I mean, I'm not asking for the whole thing. I'm just asking for a courtesy waiver on this.
I'll move to deny the waiver.
I'll second that. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. And now we're going to talk with Brandy. Hey, Rob. Hope I'm not. 748 Pine Lake Drive. Hello again.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I had emailed some information over. Did you guys get that?
Let me see. We have some memory, some
I can summarize it.
information.
Go ahead.
Okay, the summary is that when we talked at the board meeting, I didn't have all this info, so I went ahead and kind of put it all together. When we talked last time, I remember the stormwater, so that same week I called the city and got the stormwater paid up. So that balance is currently zero. I did get on Saturday, I did get the first, I had told you that I had signed that for the email billing statements for sanitation. So on Saturday, I can say I did get the first one of those. So that one is the one that's due April 10th. So that is now squared away as well. So kind of getting some things knocked out and squared away, so that is good. The summary was that the balance due was $726.81, and on Tuesday, February 25th, I paid $400. That leaves $326.81 plus then the April statement of 7031. 397.12 is total what's due right now by April 10th. Of that original 726, $156.77 were the late fees. And so that's what I was wanting to try to talk to you guys about, if there could be any reprieve from some of those late fees so that I could square this away.
Randy, how much, again, the 176 was the late fee?
The late fees were $156.77. And I broke it down. There was it started out at $7.34, then you look at 14, 21, 28, 35, 0, and then 50. So the $50 one is the most expensive one. It was charged once. So yeah, and I know you're not obligated to, offer any kind of reprieve, and I just appreciate the consideration with you guys tonight. So thank you.
Questions either for Greg or Sarah? This is not a reduction in bill, this is just a request to reduce or waive late fees. I think it's correct. Something that's within our purview. Questions, comments,
I would move to waive the late fees.
further discussion? Greg, Sarah, do you understand why we're waiving the late fees of $156.77? Guess we need to vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys, and I will call and spread that out tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Next, Stacy Alvin. Did I say that even close to being correct? Okay. 1528 Fry Road.
Anybody that's having trouble getting anything coming up on?
Mine is super, super slow.
Mine is,
I'm using paper.
mine is, my cell phone.
Tell us what's your issue.
Okay, well, we have a trash bill that we just got, and it was for $474.30. The first one we got, and it was from 11/8/2023 through 2/25/2025. So it was at our rental house. We had no idea there was trash service there. The renter filled everything out, I guess. So I'm just asking.
What do you mean filled everything out?
He filled out an application they told me.
Oh, to have
And of
trash
course-
service?
I don't know who accepted it because it's blank. So we were never aware. I don't believe this is my mom's signature. She was pretty bad with Parkinson's at that time. So I don't believe.
Was she your tenant?
She's the owner. Yeah, and I am too because of her situation. So at that time, she was pretty bad. So I don't believe that's her signature. And so I don't know. We weren't aware we had trash service there under this renter. Of course, he's gone. That was from 2021. And of course, we never got any bills because he forwarded his bills to somewhere else. So they're saying they went to the rental house. Well, how would I know if he forwarded his bills somewhere else? We would never get it. So
Appreciate the problem.
I don't.
Sort of like Mr. Erickson had having issues with his tenant.
I wish we were notified sooner instead of 15 months getting a bill.
Are you saying that,
I
you're
could
saying
see
your
a
mother's
month or
name was
two.
forged on the application?
I
Your mother's name was forged on the
don't know.
contract?
She does not remember signing this or anything. She couldn't even drive at that time. She was under lots of medication. So we don't know.
I didn't come here to sign it.
Yeah. And she wasn't able to drive, so I don't know nobody has any proof that she signed this or a driver's license or anything. So, you know, she was under a lot of medication when she got diagnosed, so, you know, I don't know. And I wasn't here with her because the reason is I had to put my name on the house is because I had to help her. So, I mean, it would have been nice if we'd known a month so we could have known about it. We had no idea. I mean, we're up on Everett.
They continue to pick up, I guess.
I mean, I don't know.
Not
We
even
had,
get their money.
I mean, we had 2 other renters there, so we don't pay any of their utilities. They do. I mean, if we were informed, we could have paid this, but we didn't even know we had trash service. So how are we gonna pay for it if we don't know?
But as far as you know, the trash invoices were being sent to the house.
The way.
Being sent to your house, not to the property, not necessarily where you live, but
Yeah,
They
no.
were sent to the rental house.
the
But
rental
it
house.
had his name on it probably, and we never saw it.
All his mail was sent to a different address.
So we never even saw a bill that's what sent was to the rental house. So my understanding, why did they wait 15 months to give us this bill?
And it's too.
How did you get the bill after 15 months?
They sent it to my house.
They just sent it to her. We just got this bill,
My house, my
her
house.
main house.
Where I live.
So why didn't they check on it before when they were this late in 2023 for a bill that she just got sent to her main house?
So the bill you got is dated November 8th of 2023.
It was dated,
It's from 23.
well, this just says 1/24/2025. I don't even have a breakdown. I mean, it just says, oh, $474.30.
That's not it.
It's not itemized, nothing. This is the bill we got.
Trey, do you have any input?
So,
Ask Mr. Drake.
Yeah.
Help us.
So I can't speak to why the bill was sent to the owner's address, because we got mail back returned to us, returned to sender. Once that happens, we go onto the Beacon website, find out who's the deeded property owner, and forward the bill to that person. I cannot speak to the signing of the form other than they're not required to come in and sign it in person. When a person wants to have trash service, but they're not on our sewer service, they're presented with that application. If they have a landlord, they have to get the landlord to sign off on it as well. So that is part of our process, but generally, if it were a sewer bill, it would be, the option is offered to send it to both the renter and the landlord. But that wasn't requested at the time of this, so from our side, whoever's living there has been using the trash service as well. And so the trash has been getting picked up, and Best Way has been billing the city for that service through this time frame.
we've had 2 of renters, so it was approved.
Well, if
Who approved?
if the bill was trash was being picked up from your property, and where the city's paying to service that, I don't see a reason to, and I'm sorry, your relationship with your tenants is such that they're not being forthcoming with you, but I guess my motion would be to deny that request.
So we're gonna have to pay all the late fees too? I mean, we didn't even know about it, so you're charging us more late fees from 2003.
How much are the late fees?
We don't know.
I can tell you that. So the total trash charges were $279, the late fees totaled $195.30.
Would you entertain a motion to amend your motion?
I would, Mr. Rutherford,
Yes.
second,
Yes, to
Waive the late fees.
waive the late fees.
at 195. Any further discussion on the amended motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Now, will they send a new bill? With this new amount on.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
go
can
ahead.
make it simple. Waiving the late fees, we just can't waive the other. The city incurred that cost. It's much like the,
So how can we
Previous
stop the
person.
renter from doing this? So I mean, I like to know. I mean, how can I control this? This is the only house we have in
it
Greenwood.
sounds like you can get a duplicate bill sent to you. Is that correct?
Yes, we do offer the option for landlords to have to.
That'd probably be the best thing to keep track of it that way.
If I knew I had it, it would have, but.
And I did not do it, so it's.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right, thank you.
Good luck in the future. TM Hopkins Sign Solutions.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Speak loudly, please.
Best you can.
Problems.
Okay. My name is Monty Hopkins, and we're here to request approval of an encroachment request to replace the existing sign at Sierra Park with a Franciscan Alliance sign. The existing sign is in the drainage easement, and we would like to put the new sign in the same place.
Mr. Hopkins, have you received a memo from Jeff Weaver with some proposed conditions if we would grant your request?
We have not seen that, no.
Okay, well, here are some suggested conditions from Jeff Weaver of Community Development Services that they are recommending approval based upon these conditions, that you would provide an approval letter from the Johnson County Surveyor's Office and present it to the city. You must apply for a sign permit from the city, that the sign be constructed to allow for adequate drainage, and if it is determined by the engineering division or stormwater department that a drainage issue has been created, then the property owner will be responsible for correcting said drainage issue. And should work within the easement be necessary by any of the utilities or the city of Greenwood, the owner shall be responsible for removal and replacement of the sign at the owner's sole expense, and the owner further holds harmless utilities and city of Greenwood for any damage to said sign. And finally, that Indiana 811 be notified prior to any construction so all buried utilities can be indicated. Are you agreeable to all of those conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion then to approve that subject to those 5 conditions?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Next, going to talk to Lacey and Jordan Rader.
Hi,
Hi, Ms. Lacey or Jordan?
this is Lacey.
Tell us what we're doing here.
So we bought the property that is outlined. Now I'm seeing Golf Edition. There you go. That's the right one. We bought the property outline there, and the only way to access the is to cross a creek that runs through there. And so there is an encroachment, or we applied for an encroachment to the easement, excuse me, to be able to put a bridge on so that we can get over to what looks like the open area in that picture so that we can build a house.
Actually, the same question I asked the previous applicant. Have you received a memo from Jeff Weaver dated today regarding some proposed conditions to your request?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read it again. That the engineering division is recommending approval of your encroachment request subject to the following: that you submit bridge plans for review and approval, I presume to the engineering division.
Right.
And the encroachment agreement is prepared by the city's legal department and executed by the owner of the parcel and the Board of Public Works and Safety, and then recorded by the owner of the parcel. that the encroachments be constructed to allow for adequate drainage. And then if it is determined by the engineering division or the stormwater division that a drainage issue has been created, then the property owners will be responsible for correcting said drainage issue. And should work within the easements be necessary by any of the utilities or the city of Greenwood, the property owner shall be responsible for removal and replacement of the encroachments at the owner's sole expense. And the owner further holds harmless the utilities and the city of Greenwood for any damage to said encroachments. And finally, that Indiana 811 is notified prior to construction so that all buried utilities can be marked. Were you able to hear those, Lacey?
I was, thank you.
Are you in agreement with all of those conditions should the board approve your request?
I believe so, yeah.
Questions for Lacey or for Mr. Peony?
We can assist with the that encroachment packet. Hopefully we have their email, because there's certain items we'll need to prepare that agreement through the legal department. But yeah, we will assist the best we can on that part of it.
Lacey, did you hear that?
I think I heard someone say they could help with an encroachment packet.
The engineering division of the city will help you in the preparation of the packet that you're going to need. So if you can give your email address, or Amanda, do you happen to have her email address?
Did you receive an agenda through the email?
I did. I'm lhacker@gmail.com.
Okay, so then we should have your email.
Yep.
Okay. They will help you in processing your request.
Okay.
Motion to approve this as presented, subject to those 5 conditions.
So moved.
Second, further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you.
Next, Andrew Barkasey, we're going to talk about Audi Golf Edition.
Hi guys, how you doing? Can you guys hear me
Andrew, I'm gonna
okay?
ask you to talk just as loudly as you can. We're having some real audio issues here.
Sounds good.
What we're doing.
Yep. So Audi's doing about a 9,000 square foot addition. It's going to have some indoor batting cages, some golf simulators. And so we're just here for the acceptance of the testing, inspection agreements, the performance guarantees, and the plat.
Oh, physical.
Everything's good.
Okay. I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thanks,
Thank you.
Andrew.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Next, we're going to talk about Greenwood Senior Living. Kelly Getz from One Clover. Kelly, are you with us? Guess not.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, I am here.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Have you received a memo from Paul Peony dated today's date?
I did.
Okay. And you see the proposed motion that they want conditions of how to prove that, subject to receipt of the Mylar and digital as-bills and receipt of the balance due of the general inspection and testing agreement, $1,537.50.
Correct.
Are you or your client in acceptance of those conditions?
Yes, they are all in process now. The city will receive their check on Wednesday. Tomorrow, my office administrator is overnighting it via UPS. And then I contacted my Crossroads engineers, is our engineer of record. They are going to hand deliver to, I think it's 300 South Madison, the Mylar drawings and the thumb drive of the as-built.
Oh, you're okay with all that?
Yeah, and everything out in the field, it's been inspected and approved. So yeah, this is all good.
Move for approval.
Second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. And ma'am.
Now let's go to Campus Wilkerson, Davis Homes, Genesis Drive Commercial Center.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we are here to, we're subdividing the parcel that they're on Genesis Drive. So we delivered the performance guarantees, the inspection and testing agreement and the fee for that and the plat to Mr. Bioni. We're just asking for acceptance of those.
Okay. I didn't look up from my things and I'm expecting you to be up there. I said, well, I can hear you. Paul, everything good on this?
Everything's good.
I'd move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
But you can-
We appreciate you in
Thank you
person.
coming in first.
I don't see Greg Benter, but Greg, are you online?
Yep, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. We're gonna talk first about Grand Vista.
Yes, I'm here for the acceptance and execution of dedication of public right-of-way off Griffith Road.
Sounds okay, Paul?
Yes.
Everything's good on that?
Yes.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Greg, your next one is Lincoln Place, right?
Yes, same thing for this one, acceptance and execution of dedication of public right-of-way for the Emerson Avenue.
Paul, can we make this as simple as that?
Yes, we can.
Move for approval.
Second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Let's go talk to Adam Mears, Scottsdale Estates, Section 5. We'll do that first. Adam, you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Scottsdale Estates, Section 5. We're accepting erosion control, executed sanitary sewer inspection and testing agreements and ratify the fee for that. That's all good?
Yeah, they're trying to get their land alteration permit, so yeah, everything's in order.
I'll move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Let's go back to Section 1, Adam.
Yeah, we've got some improvements that we're looking for acceptance on so that we can swap out our performance bonds and replace those with maintenance bonds. I think there was maybe one in Section 1 one of the maintenance bonds that needed to be corrected, and all the corrections will be delivered to Paul by Wednesday.
So Paul, all we have to do is have a revised maintenance guarantee for the streets and review and approval of that by your office.
Right.
By legal department.
Yes.
In your office.
Right. Everything's okay down in the field.
Is there a motion?
I'll move approval of that with those conditions.
Second that, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And now we're going to go to Section 2, Adam.
Section 2 is similar to Section 1. We're having improvements accepted, moving some of the infrastructure to maintenance, swapping one that we had given a large performance bond. I think that included streets and asphalt. We're swapping out a performance bond for, I believe, the surface, and then going maintenance on the underlying street, and then releasing those performance bonds.
So Adam, what we need on this is revised guarantees.
Yep.
And then review and approval of those by the legal and engineering.
Yep.
Balance due on the inspection and testing agreement, $13.50, and receipt of digital as-bills. That's correct.
Yep, and I'll make sure all those are delivered with the other things on Wednesday as well. I've already got the bonds in hand and the check in hand, so.
Move for approval subject to those conditions. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Adam, we're going to give you one more, Section 4.
I'm the star of the show today. Section 4, we're looking for acceptance of our performance guarantees, which have already been delivered. There were some changes to the plat. I picked up the revised plat today, and similar to the other requests, those will all be delivered to Paul's attention on Wednesday. So we'd ask for those to be accepted.
Did he Adam, did you mention the 1/3 SAF?
Yeah, I have that check as well, Paul. Yeah.
Okay.
There's 3 conditions on that, the 1/3 SAF, and revised guarantee, review and approval by legal department engineering, and receipt of the revised plat, and then approval by engineering and planning.
Yep.
I'll look for approval of those conditions.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you all very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Is there anyone from the audience that wants to talk to us in person, please? Okay. Sam, we're gonna move on to you.
First up, I have a contract for sidewalk repairs with McGath Concrete Construction Corporation. This is more Kevin projects like the ones you have approved many times in the past. The cost of this one is $23,769.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is a contract for maintenance services of our Otto's Parking Marking Company for the walking trails. This is from the same fund of money, and it's for $7,395. It's repair the trail system.
I move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up is a contract amendment with Forest Commodities. We hired them to deal with our mulch grinding when our machine went down, and we underestimated the amount of mulch we needed to ground. So we needed an additional about $6,000.
And that's, so the work's already been done, correct? I'll move for approval.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Next is another class action that we've been invited to participate in. And this is against the manufacturers of Forever Chemicals. And these are used at airports around the country. We're not sure yet how we were affected by it, but if we were affected by it, this would allow us to participate in the settlement.
I move for approval. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Sam. Mr. Peony, welcome.
Yes, the first item is a easement encroachment request for a fence at 1354 Old Market Square, which is in the Greenwood Station subdivision off of Sheep Road. They're hoping to construct a fence in their rear yard, and it's encroaching into a 15-foot drainage and utility easement on both the northern side and the eastern side of the property. They've provided the homeowners, oh no, they have not provided the HOA letter for that. However, they have sent the request to all the utilities. We've not heard any negative feedback from the utilities. So the engineering division is recommending approval of the encroachment subject to the 4 conditions. And the first is they're receiving a letter from the Greenwood Station Homeowners Association that the fence be constructed to allow for adequate drainage, and if it's determined that there's been a drainage issue presented by installing the fence, the homeowner is responsible to correct the drainage issue. That the fence can be located no closer than 5 feet from the existing storm sewer along the eastern property line, and if they do cross, they cannot have a post within 4 feet of that storm sewer line. Should work within any of the easement be necessary by the utilities of the city, that the owner shall be responsible for removal and replacement of the fence at their sole expense, and further holds harmless the utilities in the city for any damage to said fence. And then finally, that 811 be notified prior to constructing the fence so that all utilities can be properly marked.
Is there anyone online who wishes to address us, property owners or? Yeah, I do have a question, Paul. The first condition is the city received a letter of approval from the HOA. Do we actually have to receive that letter, or is it kind of like the utilities, all we have to do is have proof that it was sent out?
On that one, we've always asked to receive that letter because most of them, that's their first step is they go to the HOA to construct whatever obstruction or whatever encroachment they want to put in their backyard. And the HOA usually issues a letter stating, yes, they approve the encroachment, or no, they don't. But if they do approve it, then they usually tell them they need to go to the Board of Works to ask for your approval also.
Questions for Paul?
I move that we approve it subject to those conditions. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. What else you got, Paul?
The second item is just authorizing the mayor, deputy mayor to sign the sanitary sewer service special agreement for Sage Fire by Dale Whip, Section 3, once it's ready to be executed.
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes.
Next is the 2025 annual paving project. We received 10 bids and they were opened last Thursday, March 13th. The apparent low bidder is Dave O'Meara Contractor for a total cost of $1,373,201.50 for the base bid and alternate bid number 1. And then alternate bids number 2 and 3, the Parks Department is wanting to repave the Craig Park parking lot and the Northwest Park parking lot. So they asked us to put it in our annual paving bid to try to get a price. And they were comfortable with the prices they received for those. So we're asking that the board award the contract to Dave O'Meara Contractor, Inc. for the base bid, alternate bids number 1, 2, and 3, recognizing them as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, and then just subject to finalizing the funds with the finance department.
And Sam, I suppose that alternates 2 and 3, they're really not ours, they're Parks Department. Is that okay to include that in ours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the memo because the computers don't seem to be working. Yeah, and the Parks Department is to be paying for those alternates number 2 and 3.
So their board will be funding it, but this board will carry the contract.
They were low bidder on the alternates too.
Yes. Yeah.
I would move that we award the bid to Dave O'Meara Contractor, Inc. for base bid and all the alternates. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes.
Next item is coming at University Park, Deeds Drive, and Spurlock Lane intersection. If you'll recall, back in September of last year, there was a homeowner that came to you requesting that the board look into a possible 4-way stop at that intersection. Currently, it is a 2-way stop for the Spurlock Lane roadway, which is the east-west roadway. The engineering did some research and found that within the last year, there have been at least 3 accidents at that location, and 2 of them, the Greenwood Police Department was called out on, so there were actual reports that were able to be accessed. And then we did do a field visit, and depending upon the time of day and the vehicles that are parked on the street and or in driveways, there appears to be a sight line issue at times, depending on that situation, the parked vehicles. So the engineering division is recommending to convert the intersection to a 4-way stop condition and authorizing the street department to install the stop signs at that location.
And that would, having a 4-way stop would assist in alleviating the sightline. People's.
Every way would have to stop.
That's a stupid question.
I move that we approve the request.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
The next item, there is a parcel at 495 Molnix Road. It's a Williams parcel.
1495.
What did I say, 495? 1495. They would like to hook onto the city sanitary sewer, and there is a sewer in that vicinity. Actually, some stubs were installed during the construction of an adjacent subdivision. So we're just asking for the board to authorize staff to prepare a single partial sewer service agreement and authorize the mayor to sign.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
There's one item that's not on the agenda. The Smith Valley Road and Woodland Boulevard roundabout, the specifications are and plans have been completed. So we're requesting that the board authorize staff to put it out to bid and hopefully receive bids in mid-April and then possible award in May this year. And then Smith Valley Averett, the Smith Valley Woodland roundabout are supposed to go along about the same time. Try to get them done at the same time, so we only close the road down once.
That'd be nice.
Yes, so that's the intent.
The motion,
So
second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you, Paul.
Paul, if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind seeing those plans.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right about there.
Right.
Greg, anything from your office for me? Thank you. Thank you for your help today. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. I would move for approval of the claims as presented.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you all. We'll stand adjourned at 6:22 p.m. Not gonna get any. No, comment, Sam, about how quick to be.
No.
Try.
I mean, shoot. It seems like you.
Want my friends out there laughing at me.
Maybe. Someone else might get them out.
What is the overall number for getting calls out? I'll say 4th of July.